Jini had always been a bright and ambitious girl, full of energy and dreams that extended far beyond the narrow streets of her hometown. She had a curiosity about the world that could not be contained within the confines of her school, and she had convinced her parents to let her join a well-known coaching center in the city, promising that her dedication would justify their trust. The coaching center was bustling with students, all anxious, all ambitious, all competing for top ranks. Yet Jini moved through it with a quiet confidence that drew attention without her realizing it. Among the many students, one boy stood out. Yash was different, not just intelligent, but calm, composed, and incredibly observant. Unlike others who tried to flaunt their knowledge, Yash carried himself with humility and focus. He never sought attention, but somehow everyone noticed him. From the very first day, Jini felt a subtle pull toward him, a mixture of admiration, curiosity, and something she couldn't name yet. Their first interactions were casual, polite exchanges over doubts and problems. Jini would approach him with questions about math problems or chemistry reactions, and Yash would patiently explain, never condescending, always encouraging. She found herself lingering around him longer than necessary, pretending to check notes or textbooks, but really just enjoying the presence of someone who made learning feel less like a task and more like an experience. Yash, in return, noticed her energy, her determination, and the spark in her eyes that refused to be dimmed by the stress of exams. He found himself looking forward to her questions, to her laughter, to her slightly chaotic but genuine way of engaging with the world. Days turned into weeks, and a rhythm developed between them. They would study together, sometimes silently, sometimes in bursts of discussion and debate. They laughed at mistakes, shared stationery, and exchanged small gestures of care, a pencil when one was missing, a quick "you okay?" when the other seemed tired. Slowly, their connection deepened. It was not loud or obvious, but it was real, forming a delicate bond that neither of them could ignore. One late afternoon, when the coaching center had emptied except for a few students lingering in the library, Jini and Yash found themselves sitting across from each other at a corner table. The sun streamed through the tall windows, casting warm streaks of light across the desks. Jini fidgeted with her pen, stealing glances at Yash, who was completely absorbed in his notes. The moment felt heavy with unspoken words. Finally, she took a deep breath. "Yash, do you ever think about what comes after all this? Exams, results, college?" Her voice was tentative, almost a whisper. Yash looked up, eyes meeting hers with a quiet intensity. "I do," he said softly, "but honestly, I think about the present more. About the people who make it worth living. About the moments that make studying bearable." His words made her heart skip. That moment, ordinary to anyone else, felt monumental to Jini. She realized that she was not just drawn to Yash's mind, but to the calm, reassuring presence he brought into her life. As the months went by, their friendship quietly grew into something more. Jini began noticing the small ways Yash cared, how he remembered which snack she liked, how he noticed when she looked tired, how his hand would brush against hers in the most natural way, sending an inexplicable warmth through her. Yash, in turn, found himself feeling restless when she was absent, his thoughts wandering to her laughter, to her determination, to her kindness. They didn't need grand gestures. The simplest moments were enough. Sitting together in the library, sharing notes, solving problems side by side, became an unspoken ritual that neither of them wanted to end. One rainy afternoon, as dark clouds hung low over the city and the raindrops tapped rhythmically against the windows, Jini and Yash were waiting for their rides outside the coaching center. The corridor was sparsely populated, and the rain had begun to soak through the little shelter. Jini's hair clung damply to her cheeks, and without thinking, Yash took off his jacket and draped it over her shoulders. "You'll catch a cold," he said softly, concern lacing his tone. Jini looked at him, startled and grateful, and murmured, "Thank you." It was a simple act, yet it spoke volumes, an unspoken understanding, a quiet intimacy that neither had yet verbalized. That evening, walking home in the rain, they discovered a rhythm to their companionship that was effortless and true. Their days were filled with studies, but their hearts were intertwined in ways neither could articulate. They stayed back late, revising together, discussing formulas, debating answers, yet their conversations often veered toward dreams, ambitions, fears, and hopes. Jini would talk about her plans for the future, her desire to travel, to explore, to learn, and Yash would listen with a patience and interest that made her feel truly seen. In turn, Yash confided his own dreams, his wish to study engineering, to build something meaningful, to support the people he cared about. These exchanges, honest and unguarded, deepened their bond beyond mere affection. As exams approached, tension filled the coaching center, but Jini and Yash remained each other's anchor. They would encourage one another during moments of doubt, calm each other during stress, and share silent victories when they mastered a difficult concept. Each day, the layers of their friendship strengthened, evolving into a love that was steady, patient, and profound. They found joy in each other's presence, comfort in each other's words, and an unspoken promise in every shared glance. The day of the final pre-board exams arrived, and the atmosphere was electric with anticipation and anxiety. Jini felt her heart pounding as she reviewed her notes, but a single glance at Yash, who was calmly focused, reassured her. His composure became her anchor, and the shared understanding between them became a silent support system. After the exams, walking together through the crowded corridors, Jini felt the weight of months lift off her shoulders. "I feel like I've learned more than just subjects here," she admitted softly. "I've learned life." Yash smiled knowingly. "I know exactly what you mean. Some lessons come from books, some from people. And you've been one of the most important lessons for me." That evening, under the gentle glow of the streetlights outside the coaching center, Jini spoke the words that had been building for months. "Yash, I like you. I have for a long time." Yash's eyes softened, and relief mixed with happiness flashed across his face. "I like you too, Jini. More than I ever realized I could like anyone." Their hands met, fingers entwined naturally, as if the universe had been guiding them toward this moment all along. There were no dramatic confessions, no grand declarations, just the quiet certainty of two hearts recognizing each other. From that day onward, their companionship transformed into a deep, committed love. They continued to study together, support each other through challenges, and share both mundane and extraordinary moments. Study breaks became playful exchanges, celebrations of small successes, and solace in moments of failure. They discovered that love was not about grand gestures, but about understanding, patience, and being present for each other in every ordinary moment. The coaching center, which had once been just a place of learning, became the backdrop of their beautiful journey. They shared laughter in the corridors, exchanged notes under tables, and even found comfort in the quiet corners of the library. Their peers noticed, often teasing them gently, but Jini and Yash didn't mind. Their world was private yet intertwined, a delicate balance of friendship, respect, and affection. As graduation approached, the future seemed both exciting and intimidating. They navigated college applications, entrance exams, and the uncertainties of young adulthood together. Yet, no matter how stressful or demanding life became, their bond remained steadfast. They celebrated achievements together, consoled each other in moments of disappointment, and dreamed aloud about the life they wanted to build together. One afternoon, sitting on the terrace of the coaching center for the last time, watching the sun paint the sky in shades of orange and pink, Jini turned to Yash. "Do you remember the first time we stayed late in the library? I never imagined it would lead to this." Yash held her hand gently, his thumb tracing patterns on her skin. "I didn't either, but I'm grateful it did. Everything feels right with you." She rested her head on his shoulder, and together they watched the sunset, knowing that they had found something rare and enduring. Over the years, their relationship faced challenges, misunderstandings, academic pressures, and the inevitable trials of life, but each obstacle only strengthened their bond. They learned patience, empathy, and compromise, understanding that love was a continuous journey rather than a destination. Their shared experiences in the coaching center became the foundation for a life built on trust, mutual respect, and shared dreams. As they stepped out of the coaching center for the last time, ready to embrace the next chapter of life, they did so hand in hand, hearts filled with hope and courage. The lessons they had learned, both academic and personal, would guide them through future challenges, and their love, nurtured quietly and patiently, would continue to grow. Jini and Yash had discovered that sometimes the most extraordinary stories begin in the most ordinary places, with the simplest acts of kindness, understanding, and shared dreams. The story of Jini and Yash was not one of dramatic events or sudden revelations, but of the quiet, enduring connection between two hearts willing to grow together. It was a testament to the power of love, friendship, and resilience, a reminder that true bonds are forged through patience, understanding, and unwavering support. And as they moved forward into the world, ready to face whatever came next, they carried with them the knowledge that they had found something extraordinary in each other, a love that began in a coaching center, bloomed through shared dreams and challenges, and would continue to flourish for a lifetime. Years later, as they looked back on their journey, Jini and Yash would remember the small moments, the laughter over shared mistakes, the silent support during exams, the comfort of a shared umbrella in the rain. Those moments, simple yet profound, had created a story far greater than they could have imagined, a story of love that was as natural as breathing and as enduring as time itself. Their love had grown quietly, steadily, and beautifully, proving that sometimes the most remarkable stories are the ones that unfold slowly in the quiet corners of life, where two hearts recognize each other and choose to grow together against all odds. In the end, the story of Jini and Yash remained a timeless reminder that love does not need grandeur or spectacle to be real. It thrives in understanding, patience, and shared journeys. It is found in ordinary places, nurtured by everyday gestures, and strengthened by challenges faced together. And so, the coaching center, once just a place of learning, became a sacred ground for two souls who discovered that life, love, and dreams are best lived hand in hand. Their story, though beginning in a small corner of a bustling city, became infinite, a love story that would remain etched in memory, not for the extraordinary events, but for the quiet, enduring magic of two hearts growing together, learning together, and loving together. And as they walked forward side by side, the world ahead seemed less daunting because they had discovered a truth far greater than any lesson from a textbook, that when two people truly understand and support each other, they can face anything, achieve everything, and love infinitely in ways that words can never fully capture.